gonna put some wings in her top line because she has some broken hair here at the top, and I want a nice top line at the end. So I'm gonna use some wings, but when I have to spray her at the end or to put some wings in, I want to separate the whole ear from the rest of her body, so that I get rid of all those fluffy hair. So I will put the wraps around the whole ear. It won't hurt her at all. I don't do it very tight, just put it around the ear and then down. And also because it's in the wraps, it makes the hair straighter on the ear. So I normally feel where the ear is start, and that's the point I separate it from the rest of the hair. And I try to do it as clean as possible, because if I do some hairs in the ear which is supposed to be in the top line, then of course it's don't feel very nice to her, and she will probably shake her head when her top line is in, or will scratch it with her feet. So now I use the comb to put it in the rest of the hair, so I don't have it when I put the wrap around her ear. And I start at the top. Just put it around it, not too tight. She will stand on the table, so she won't walk with it, so it won't come off. So now you have free to spray whatever you want, because it's not coming into the ears. And when you put the bands in or the wings in, you don't have the hair of the ear with you. For me, it's very important to learn my dogs to lay down on a pillow like that, because when I'm at a competition, I don't like it when somebody holds my dog, because if I ask somebody to hold my dog, they always stand at the place where I want to stand to spray. And if I go alone to a competition, I don't have anybody to hold my dog. So I always teach them from the beginning, from when they are young, to lay down like this. And when they know it, they will lay down as long as I want. As a puppy, they don't have that much patience yet, but it will come. Now I'm gonna put the first band in. I know some people always have the start for the first band and said it must be 1 finger or 2 fingers after the eye. I don't look that way. I just push the hair forward and think, well, is it too much? If it's too less, or do I have less hair? Do I think like this is nice? Well, it's found a little too less for me, so then I put it more backwards. This is way too much. And so I feel, when I think, okay, this should be right, then I put my comb in, just the place where my fingers is, and I separate there the hair. So I try to comb this so that it will be nice and clean. She has a lot of tiny broken hairs over there, but we can fix that with the hairspray, of course. And I just put it in like this, just a little bit between her eyes, just straight up, not forward or backwards. Five times. It's a little depending on the elastic band, how tight the band is, but when you put it in, you can feel it if there is space or not. And this one I do it 5 times. And then I will lay down my thumb in between her eyes and just pull back all the hair over there. and then I push it down, and I took my 2 fingers and I go push it back to the front, and then I will get the back side of that elastic band hair, and I push that down. So then it will be, of course I have to spray this with hairspray to make it nice and clean. So this one I left just lay down. Then I will get to the other part. And because I make, I will put some wings in, I don't make the parts between very wide. So I will get tiny pieces, just a centimeter. Go straight to the point. I will separate it. So now you can see here is a part of her hair that she has less. This one I do a little less tight. 1 time, 2 times, and then I leave it. I get the shortest one at the front, and the more I go back I go to the larger one, because the most hair, the large point, the highest point, I want it at the back of her head. What I'm going to do next is I pick that piece up, I will split it in the half. I put one, it's a handle you need to know. If you do it a lot of time, then it will be much more easier. So now I have 2 parts in each hand. Of course I need to have this one in my hand. So now I put my finger between the pieces and the elastic band, and I will push the end of this wing through the band. Now you can pick up your elastic band again, and you can make it more tight and go through it. If you think that it's not quite tight enough, you just get another band and just put it around each. And that's it. Now we go to the next one. We'll just leave it like this. This is the hair of my old poodle, who was in a continental clip, and when I get her out of the continental clip, I saved it. I just make parts of each, and I cut it down under. So she was really ugly at the moment. If I start in the front and I go to the back, and then I cross it, go back and cross it, and then you'll have to stop normally to the front, but now I stop here because I do the wings in. But if you stop the way this way,
yes,
your hair fall that way.
Ah,
And normally I will cut them out in a minute. If I stop this way, my
yes,
hair is already to that side where I have to spray it up. But now it's too tight to put the wings in, so I have to cut them out. Always use the scissors to cut them out. Because if you pull on the elastic band to come out the hair, you always damage the hair, yes. Here we go, split it. Now you can see this part is long and this part is short, but I don't mind because I know I put the wings in, so it will be correct, everything. Her hair here was more damaged than there, and I don't shorten this up because I want to grow this back. So I never make this shorter to look evil. So make sure if you have the wing, you put it in like this and not like that, because I have blown dry the wing flattened like this. And you see here it's small, so if you do it like that, it makes you harder to do the spray up. So I've split it, now my finger is between the part of the hair and the elastic band. I'm going to just cut this piece with my other hand and I push the end of the wing between and it's stuck. And I will get the elastic band and I will secure it. And just for safety I will do another one. So for me there is also a different way to put the bands in for a competition or for a dog show. If I do for the competition, grooming competition, I want this hair as long as possible. So I won't do another layer of bands in, because every layer of band I will put in, I push the hair more down. If I go to a dog show, your dog have to move to run around. You have to, because otherwise it won't hold. So then I will make another layer on top of this layer of elastic bands and I will secure halfway each piece to another. If I have to do the top knot for the grooming competition, I only do one layer because I want to make it as high as possible and she only have to stand on the table, so she don't have to walk, so it will not fall down. You see that I leave some hair here and I will put it later between with the ears, because if I pull this up, you see the ear moves up, so I will let it down. Most of the time I feel where the head stops, with the end of the head is going into her neck, and I want the longest point over here. And that's all where I put bands in, I don't put it in here. Because now I have the room to put my finger in the elastic band like that.
Yeah.
Because I have to put this end of the wing all between. And if I don't have any space, then I can push what I want, but will not come in. And then you think it will be between the elastic band, and then you will come it, and you have the wing in your hands. So you definitely don't want to have that. If you want, you can all the way down do the wings, but remember, this hair is now long like this. If I put a band in, it will shorten it. And if you want to have a straight up top line, yes, you need to make sure that this part is also very long. You see some dogs are bent in just for maintenance, during the week.
Yes.
And they only bend in the part this and leave that. My dogs are always bending in with wraps until the back. So if I let my band down loose, I will make sure that this hair, I try to make sure that it's not in it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 wings in and her front. I don't put it in the front because I will secure this piece in my second piece. And that's the only band I will put on top of this layer.
And that's going to make sure that the front stands up correctly.
Stands up correctly and don't fall too much
to the front.
I will do the whole piece from the front to half the piece of the second one. And I just go a little on top. If I feel with my finger, feel where the band starts over here. That's the point where I want to secure it to the other one. So it will be maybe a thumb up. But it's the same as the front piece. It's not on every dog the same. So you have to feel and think, how long or how heavy is this hair? Do I have to go more up or more down? If it's really short hair and you go too much up, then you can't make this fall down to the side, that you have the nice and clean top way. So I never go too much up high. I will put my pink on this point, because if I pull much on this piece, I will change
The looks.
the looks.
Yes.
So I will
Profile.
lay down my finger on it, and then I will secure it that way. So now it's tightened up and standing from his own. So I only have to spray this one. So that's why I said earlier, that's why I don't put the second layer on the rest, because you can see that this part I can work with is already less shorter than the end from here. I can make the clean top line, but that I will show you at the end.